You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The leading listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In their bid to have R. Kelly incarcerated and his life as a successful black celebrity taken away from him, we saw the government invoke certain special acts, among which is the infamous RICO violation that was enacted back in 1970, and an even older law, the Mann Act, that stems from as early as 1910. Both legislations are popular for the way they have been repeatedly applied as alternatives when specific individuals have been targeted, but the existing relevant laws have proved insufficient to effect a successful takedown. This has led us to think that these legislations were actually enacted to give the government power to target anybody they wish to take down, and evidently the laws have been time and again employed to target and destroy some of the greatest people America has known, like we are going to explain as this story unfolds. Also known as the White Slave Traffic Act, the Mann Act was passed by Congress on June 25, 1910, which forbade the transportation of women or girls across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, debauchery, or any other immoral purpose. Strict as the law was designed to be, it was surprisingly left as open as possible to be able to use it in prosecuting almost anyone the government picked interest in, and clearly the law proved to be unstoppable. It was repeatedly used as a perfect tool for effecting personal vendettas, as fathers quickly saw an opportunity to crack down on unwanted boyfriends to their daughters, wives reported philandering husbands, and most importantly, prosecutors did exploit the law as a weapon against miscegenation, cracking down on interracial romance. It wasn't long before the law that had been left as open as possible to accommodate any kind of case and empower government to crack down on almost anybody was used as a weapon of racism. In 1912, only 2 years after the law was passed, heavyweight boxing champion Jack Johnson did face charges of violating the Mann Act, his alleged crime being the alleged kidnapping of a white woman by the name Lucille Cameron. It is believed that the U.S. Department of Justice began investigating Jack Johnson for possible violations of the Mann Act as early as 1910, immediately after the law went into effect, like it had been intentionally enacted for the purpose of his takedown. Luckily for Johnson, they were unable to find any incident from which to build a case for over 2 years. However, by 11th of October 1912, they finally got what they were looking for when a woman that goes by the name Cameron Falconet came to Chicago accusing the first African-American heavyweight champion for kidnapping her daughter Lucille Cameron, and in less than a week, Johnson was arrested by Chicago police on state kidnapping charges. The then U.S. District Attorney James Wilkerson began building a Mann Act violation case against the boxer amidst dissatisfaction by the Attorney General, who was not sure it was the right thing to do. And though the alleged victim was not willing to cooperate with investigators, she was brought before a grand jury in court. The Mann Act case, however, hit a deadlock when it was eventually discovered that the alleged victim had been a prostitute before she left Milwaukee, and had been in Chicago on her own for more than 3 months before she met the boxing champion. Just as was the case with R. Kelly, the district attorney was dissatisfied and mounted a deeper investigation with the FBI on Jack Johnson to find anyone else that was willing to work with government to drag down the successful black legend. Luckily for him, another prostitute who went by the name Belle Gifford and had been Johnson's former companion was more than willing to aid his takedown. Just like R. Kelly's ex-girlfriends provided the perfect allies to government in their bid to destroy him, this ex-lover of Jack Johnson, who was filled with bitterness for the way she had been replaced by Lucille, became the perfect witness government was looking for. And within a matter of days, Johnson had been issued 7 Mann Act indictments and successfully charged. In the same fashion as Jack Johnson, the government started out on R. Kelly with allegations of kidnap, and before we knew it, he was also slapped with Mann Act violation along with other strange charges whose history we will also be detailing soon. In the same fashion again, the government was quick to establish strong alliances with his ex-relationships, who in the same manner were conditioned to cooperate, and willingly they did, considering they had been left devastated by their separations with the R&B King. The common denominator here being that these two successful black people, both becoming victims of the Mann Act weaknesses, provide a basis for many to believe that indeed the law could have been enacted purposely to aid in the takedown of great African American industry actors, as a way of deadlocking the passing down of generational wealth to their descendants. Remember that when they succeed in locking up more black people, and most especially the successful ones, in a form of ethnic cleansing, black populations by percentage are kept in check. What hurt Jack Johnson the most, however, was when the black community joined in and hated on him. And yet it was clear that the laws were being used to stop him from marrying a white woman only because he was black. A move that violated the right to associate freely as American people. The act of black people standing with the oppressor is always the most difficult event for any oppressed black individual to contemplate. When it happens, it's a total disappointment, and it's such phenomena that makes some of these issues remembered, as is what happened to our own superstar Jack Johnson when his haters decided if we can't beat him in the ring, we will beat him in court. Similarly, the most hurting thing about the R. Kelly situation is the fact that it is fellow black people that were used to destroy an entire 30 years of hard work he invested to achieve his brand as the king of R&B, by again using this open and erroneous law that allows misuse and excesses as well as targeted injustice to prevail. The oppressors now realize they can no longer use the law to put a stop on interracial romance, but will use it to destroy successful black people until the black community wakes up and stands against this as well. According to Carolyn Nichols, that is exactly what it is, prejudice towards Robert Sylvester Kelly. And they should free him because it's just a bunch of lies they are basing their arguments on. How could they prosecute somebody basing on lies told, and even after these are detected, nothing is done about it? I had never seen this anywhere or any day in my life, and it makes me sad. According to Sharon E. Wilson, they used this Mann Act on famous black boxer Jack Johnson in the early 1900s, but over a white woman, and now they are using the same law on the R&B king R. Kelly, this time over black women, but all in the interest to bring down successful black people. Same story, different day. According to Pastor Blessed, the Mann Act theory against R. Kelly is a lie because him inviting women to a concert of his is not for sexual purpose. The purpose of travel was therefore never to engage in immoral activities or debauchery. The law was therefore wrongly applied in this case. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.